Hey carpet cleaners, John here, and in this video I am going to be interviewing Kyle Davis, the founder of a brand new carpet cleaning franchise that's sweeping America right now, Red Carpet Cleaning. We're going to be hearing his incredible story about how he started, founded, and found success by starting a franchise and helping other people become business owners through his franchise. If you've never heard of me before, my name's John Williams. I run a company called AGB. We specialize in one thing and one thing only, getting carpet cleaning businesses like you booked out with jobs on autopilot using our specialist marketing system. I'm on a personal mission to try and help as many people as humanly possible, whether that's through working with us one-on-one inside our program or through this YouTube channel. So without further ado, let me introduce Kyle Davis, the owner, founder of the incredible Red Carpet Cleaning. So Red Carpet started in 2017, and this was essentially when it was just you. This was the first location, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
And then the second location came on in what year? The following year or the same year?
Actually, the second location came on in 2020.
So let's just take a step back. So 2017 to 2020, over that 3-year period, you were effectively an independent carpet cleaner. Through that process, somebody else wanted your help to set up their own business. You helped them set up their own carpet cleaning business. That happened in 2020. You called it Red Carpet as well. And so when did you, shall we say, officially go into business as a franchisor? Yeah. What year was that? 2020?
2020.
So let's talk about that first year in business in 2020 as a proper, legit, fully signed up, legally binding franchisor, as they call it. What was that first year in business like for you in 2020? What were the big successes? What challenges did you have? What was like the big roadblock that you had to overcome?
I kind of alluded to it in the previous answer where I was saying there's a lot more to it than just the legal perspective. So there's the legal stuff, but in the big picture, the legal stuff is kind of small relatively compared to everything else when you're supporting a franchise. And so it's funny that you say like you were officially a franchisor 2020. It definitely didn't feel that way. It felt like a big mess. To be honest, it was like every time I turned around, there was something that we were like, oh, we got to figure that out, like our payment processing system. And how do we share the profits made from multiple locations? And how do we develop a website that is shareable among several different owners and things like that? So that first year, I would love to say that I was officially a franchisor. We had everything in place and it just took off and was awesome. But that's not how it was. It was a mess. There was a big learning curve with it. I mean, it was essential because we had to go through those things to learn what people need in order to be supported. But yeah, it was a big learning curve and it was rough that first year.
I can totally understand that. I think any business, doesn't matter what you're doing, who you are, that first year in business is always a challenge. That's why I love asking that question. I'm sure it brings back a lot of memories of those times, and you probably want to like run hide under a pillow or something when you think about it.
We don't talk about 2020.
But at the same time, as a business owner myself, I'm all about embracing the journey. Like it was the same for us. Yes, you've got the legal aspects, of course, but it's all about developing the systems and the processes, the operational systems, the software, the platforms, all of that stuff. And you learn a lot. You learn so much in that first year of business. It's insane. I really enjoy that process, the failures, the knockbacks, and I love the challenge of it. I think that's really what makes the difference between a successful entrepreneur and business owner and someone that fails. That first year in business, like you're going to get some bruises, you're going to get knocked off the horse multiple times, you're going to get a lot of no's before you get a lot of yeses, and it's all about your resilience and your tenacity and your ability to be able to bounce back, not give up, be consistent, motivated, and just keep going. And even if I'm blowing my own trumpet, the reason why I'm still here today is because of that. And I think it's true to say as well, the reason why you guys have been successful and you continue to be successful, and probably why you're one of the fastest growing franchises in the service-based industry, is because you didn't give up. You overcame those challenges. You stuck with it. And I think the really important thing to touch on here, where you should be really proud of yourself, is that all happened through COVID, right?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And you've come out the other side and you've got 18, 19 locations, which is incredible. So kudos to you for that. That's amazing. And just to talk about the 18 locations in terms of like selling your franchise to potential franchisees, what does that process look like? Are you just advertising on Google? Are you doing like trade shows with a stand? Hey, come and start a red carpet location. How have you attracted these 18 locations that you've got so far?
Yeah, great question. Oh, and before I answer that question, I had a question for you. So with the like that first year being a mess, and you said you were there too, do you feel like you still encounter bumps and bruises as you're growing, or do you feel like you're past that and everything is smooth sailing from here on out?
I think that for the rest of your life as a business owner, there will always be challenges and roadblocks, no matter what. And I think that all that happens is as you grow in your business, the challenges change, right? Like as the business grows, as new systems are built, new operational processes happen, as you get more team members, different challenges appear. You know, it could be that, you know, once you've grown your team to a certain size, you have challenges in terms of like the company culture, for example, or HR, things like that can become an issue. Cash flow problems can appear that you wouldn't necessarily have in, for example, the first year of business. And I think that being on the entrepreneurial journey, it's a lifelong journey full of ups, downs, successes, happiness, tears, joy, challenges. And that's interestingly what I absolutely love. I love it all. The hard times, the good times. And one of the things that I say to like a lot of people, in particular, a lot of the carpet cleaning companies that we work with and stuff like that, is that people need to understand that it is a journey. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it requires patience, time, hard work, and effort. And to really kind of drive that point home, if you look at some of the most successful entrepreneurs on the planet right now, if you look at Elon Musk and SpaceX or whatever his space company is called, it took him 10 years to successfully launch a rocket into space. That's a lot of failure, and a very expensive failure as well. You know, I mean, he's probably lost billions of dollars trying to get a rocket into space. And a lot of people would probably have given up after a decade of trying, but he didn't. And slowly but surely, the guy's cracked the code, right? And now he's at the forefront of space and space engineering and the future. Look at Jeff Bezos, you know, one of the richest men in the world, Amazon. That guy started off selling books from his garage. And again, for the first 10 years, Amazon was not profitable. They were losing millions of dollars a year because they had to build all these fulfillment centers up front so that they had the capacity to actually deliver their products at scale. And so for 10 years, they didn't make any money at all. And it really just shows that it's a long game, man. You know, I read Bezos's biography recently. When you understand the challenges that that man has had to overcome, I mean, you know, when he brought out like the Kindle and online books and stuff like that, the whole entire book industry went out of their way to put that guy out of business. The adversity he had to overcome, of course, very similar to like the CD and the MP3 and all of that, when all of that shit happened, right? Like the book industry saw him as a huge threat to like physical books for authors, for publishing houses. Now the publishing houses were obsolete. You could publish your own book on Amazon. You didn't need a publisher anymore. Bookshops, things like Borders, the bookshop and stuff like that, going like shutting down like crazy, you know? And so, of course, you can only begin to imagine the challenges that that guy has faced to get to where he is today. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's unbelievable. And a lot of people, I'm sure, would have wilted, would have succumbed to the pressures and the stresses that he was under from the US government, from the publishing industry. And that's just really just a couple of examples. Most people would have given up. He didn't. And it took him 10 years, but he stuck with it. Now he's a multi-billionaire.
And I would even venture to say that his struggles aren't even over. Like you were saying.
Absolutely.
Not like end.
Yeah, there's no end to
keep
it.
going.
You just got to keep going, and there'll be new challenges, there'll be new things to overcome, and that's
the never-ending game.
That's it. It's a game. It's the game, and that's the game that we're all playing. You are, I am, and that's the game that we all love. And the people that win are the ones that love playing the game, and that's it. Right. So so that's awesome. Let's talk about how you've been acquiring these franchises and what that process looks like.
So up until about a week ago, we have not advertised the franchising at all. Zero. So the only people that have been able to buy a franchise or that knew about it were people that knew a current franchisee. So we had our first franchise. I was saying earlier that was kind of a mess, but it was a very big learning curve and we were figuring it all out. And then once we had that a little more ironed out, some of his friends were like, hey, I see what you did. Can you do that with me too? We helped them start it up. And then some of their friends were like, hey, I see what's going on. Can you do that for me too? And so it's kind of just been this spreading domino effect or a snowball effect almost.
A word of mouth.
Where people know the current franchisees. We didn't have to pay for any marketing until just recently. We were like, okay, we've got this process pretty well ironed out. We can grow at a much faster pace. So let's go ahead and start marketing this.
Yeah, very cool. And what does that look like? Are you doing like TV commercials, Google ads, like what, like Facebook?
Just testing out for now. Like I said, it was a week ago that we decided that. So right now we're testing out just social media ads and throwing it out that if you want to start a business, we are here to help you do that.
Amazing, awesome stuff.